To everyone who loves Harry Potter, today we're going to be taking a deep dive onto the new series, everything we know about it, who's queued up to get casted in it potentially, and a couple of my own thoughts on the matter. Things are definitely going to get polarizing here. Before we hop into it, please be sure to stupefy the subscribe button to stay up to date with the latest videos just like this. So what's this show going to be about? So HBO and Max content chairman Casey Bloys announced an upcoming Max original series that will be a faithful adaptation of the iconic Harry Potter book series. Bloys assured fans that the series will delve deeply into each of the beloved books, so the way they're going to do this is that they're going to have each season focus on one of the 7 Harry Potter novels. Bloys stated that the project will span 10 consecutive years, which doesn't really go in line with this whole one season for every single book. Assuming that there's 7 books, there's 10 seasons. So I don't know how they're going to really do that, but that's kind of what they're going to try to do with it. He also clarified that the Fantastic Beasts series will not be part of the new project. They promised that the company will approach this new Harry Potter adventure with the utmost care and craft, ensuring that the franchise is treated with the respect it deserves. And I really hope it's true. It's going to be 10 years of this, so the casting and the story and everything is going to be extremely important. They already have great source material. The Harry Potter books are very good. They have a great underlying story with a lot of iconic characters, so they have a lot going for them. So they already have the framework, the groundwork set completely. So all they have to do now is really make sure that it's high quality. I'm really hoping they do, because there's going to be nothing more disappointing than if they fail in the casting and other parts of it, and then there's literally just 10 years worth of this mediocre storyline, and it's one of the most beloved series, so I know fans are going to definitely be diving into this and dissecting it and analyzing it and expecting a lot. So this is a lot riding on them. Honestly, I think the Harry Potter movie series is probably one of the most consistent series out there, franchises, because of how many movies that there were. I mean, really, this was over a decade worth of movies, and they really were able to hold it down pretty much consistent throughout. You know, not all of them are in the same level, but none of them were bad, and that's super impressive for a movie series with that many movies and that many books to cover. So that was super impressive, and I do believe that if they could do that, then they'll be able to pull this off, because I know TV series are completely different, but if they're able to sort of craft it in the same sort of way and make every single season, maybe even bringing in different directors, I think that'd be a cool thing too, without totally throwing off the vibe of the show. But if they can bring in different maybe directors like they did with the movie series, I think that'd be interesting too. There's a lot of different things that they can do with it, and every single sort of book is completely different, obviously, and as it goes on, it gets darker and darker. You can see that with the movie. So these last couple of seasons, whenever that is, a decade from now, it's definitely going to be something awesome if they do a good job with it. So this is set to drop in 2026 or 2027, so it's really going to be a while, honestly, until we see the very first season. So let's jump into the nitty gritty, the thing that you've been waiting for, the casting. Who on earth are going to be playing these characters? So I'm going to tell you right off the bat, we don't have a lot of information, but there's several different casts that are pretty much right on the brink of happening. So for the main 3, Harry Potter, Hermione, and Ron Weasley, the search is still on, and apparently there were 32,000 young actors that auditioned for the roles. And of course, it's going to be super important, obviously more than anything, to cast kid actors that are not only charismatic, have range, but are going to be able to grow with the series. I'm always amazed, and it's quite insane that they were able to get the perfect casting for the movie from the very beginning and keep these same 3 actors throughout over a decade. Again, 10 years plus is a long time. And the fact that they were able to continue their range of acting along with the looks is crazy. And this really goes for any long-standing movies or TV shows with the younger actors. Look at Stranger Things, for example. You know, we have several years, 5, 6, 7 years of these people's lives. There's so much that can happen between that time. You know, what if somebody looks completely different? What if they something happens to them? What if they aren't as good later on? All these different things that it could happen. So it's really cool to see that they were able to do that, and that's definitely what they're going to have to do for this, so it's going to be super important. Obviously, as you can imagine, since it's younger actors, we're probably not going to know the names. Even if I had the names right off the bat, I don't think we would recognize any of them unless they're using more famous or popular young actors, young actors, but I don't really know any off the top of my head. So it's going to be important to cast those three. So Dumbledore, which again is one of the most pivotal parts of the series, the headmaster, he has to have charisma, he has to have that dominance, and it looks like John Lithgow is the front runner to play that role, and I think that's a great casting. I think John Lithgow is a phenomenal actor. He's been in so many things. He has that older look to him, and I think he's going to be able to bring that same charisma and wisdom that Dumbledore brought as well in the movies as well, the two different actors who played them. So yeah, it's going to be, again, that's an important role, but I think John Lithgow should be able to hold it down, and he is at a ripe age that I think he'll be able to sort of continue on with the series as well and still maintain that level of stamina. So moving forward, we have Professor Mcgonagall. So as you know, she was played by Maggie Smith, which did a phenomenal job throughout the series. And again, I really, really like this character. One of loyalty, one of respect and expertise in her craft, obviously. And she just had a great energy about her with a little bit of quirkiness to her as well here and there. You know, it was very rare that you saw it, but she was there, and I think, again, Maggie Smith was an incredible actress, the late, great Maggie Smith. So, in the new one, it looks like they are eyeing Janet McTeer, which you may recognize her from Ozark, so she might be taking on the role. I think she definitely has the look for it as well, so I could definitely see that. There's a lot of other actresses that I could see playing this role as well. Now, this is the most controversial one, and one that's definitely been polarizing, and I'm definitely going to try to explain my thought process on this. Severus Snape. So it looks like the front runner and someone that literally is on the verge of getting casted from what it sounds like. Again, this isn't official yet, but it looks like they're pretty much going to be closing in on this person soon, is Paapa Essiedu. So this particular actor has been in a few things, one of which was the series I May Destroy You on BBC. So honestly, I haven't seen much of this guy's work, so I can't comment on whether or not he would make a good Snape or not, and I'm not saying he wouldn't. But one of the glaring issues is accuracy here. And personally, again, nothing against this guy, nothing against his acting whatsoever, but if we're talking about accuracy, this is just not accurate at all. I mean, I'm going to read out what the Harry Potter books describe Severus Snape as. So he's described as a thin man with greasy black hair, a hooked nose, and sallow skin. He's also referenced as being a pale man. So again, in terms of accuracy, in terms of the look of the accuracy, I'm not saying that someone of a different race can't play Snape. I'm not saying that that isn't a thing, but this is starting to stretch into territory that isn't accurate to the book. Again, they're going to make him look like that. They better, because that's what he's described as. But personally, I think that this is a stretch. This is a big stretch in my opinion. Again, I have no idea whether this person will be a good Snape or not. And I'm not hating, I'm not immediately jumping to a conclusion saying that he's not going to be a good Snape. But personally, when there are finite descriptions of characters, we don't need to be race swapping at all just for the sake of it. And I know it's HBO, I know they're into that stuff, and they made it very clear that they wanted to do this sort of inclusive way of casting, but I think with anything, that in terms of acting, it should always go to the person who's going to act the best. Regardless of race, it should not be a diversity thing. This should not be a checkbox. We're past that now. A person I think would be really good for the role would be Adam Driver. I think he's definitely got the look. He's young enough that he could grow up with the character. Again, it's not like he's going to age a bunch in 10 years, but I think that he's right there in a good sort of time frame in his career that being Snape would be perfect for him. I think it would be perfect casting. He's got the look down packed. So, and he's got the acting chop for sure. So I could definitely see that happening. And then Voldemort is still a question mark. I saw some things going around that Cillian Murphy was going to be Voldemort, but that was never confirmed, and I'm not reading it anywhere, but I did see this headline somewhere that said that. I think Cillian Murphy would be a great casting for it, but I can't really see Cillian Murphy going for a show like this, especially one that's so long. It's definitely a lot of commitment, and seeing his body of work, he's gone for all different sorts of things, I know, but in recent time, I feel like this isn't something that he would go for, but I might be wrong. I might be completely wrong about that. I think he would be a great Voldemort. Well, Ralph Fiennes, which played the original Voldemort, of course, epic performance. He's an incredible actor through and through. So finding someone like that, obviously you want to find somebody like that, but yeah, if they can replicate that magic and that sort of screen presence that Ralph Fiennes brought to the role, I think it would be something special for sure. And he's one of the most important. He's the villain, along with all of his other people alongside him. So yeah, there's a lot of roles to be casted, honestly. There's so many. There's some characters that are like Draco Malfoy and Hagrid and Sirius Black and Bellatrix Lestrange and so many other characters that still are yet to be cast, and they're all important characters too. So some more than others, but those are going to be the main ones. But what do you think about some of the talks about what the casting is going to be? Are you agreeing with it? Are you disagreeing with it? I know there's a lot of different opinions on the matter, and some people are for it, while a lot of other people are not liking what they're seeing in terms of the casting, particularly for Snape. But let me know below, what do you think? I'd love to hear it, and be sure to subscribe to stay up to date with the latest videos just like this.